That's the biggest resolution I can get out of my Mac 2.
Out of my watch. Yeah.
Yeah, my Pebble watch has more resolution. My Apple 2 has more resolution than that. All right.
We are live, huh?
We are live. Let's see. Oh, wait. No, I have to hit a premium account on Twitter is required to create. Oh, too bad.
Yeah.
I guess our Twitter account is no more.
Oh, no, it's not that. It's that they'll only stream if we've got like, a paid account.
Fine. Remove. Then I will. We should probably remove. Oh, what? Do I have to reschedule this? No, we're live on the stream. Apparently, we're just not live on Twitter. No one reminded me that I shouldn't click that icon when I was setting up the stream.
I'll go back and retroactively remind you. I get my time machine.
Yeah. Take a slingshot around the sun. While you're at it, pick up a couple of whales.
And also sunscreen. It's very close to the sun there, right?
Let me get on Facebook, make sure A, that it's working, and B, that we can share it.
And see that. Do we want to?
Do we have any friends? It says we're live, so I am going to, and it picks a great one. You're taking a sip of coffee, and I got my eyes closed.
Well, sip of coffee is on brand, so what can I tell you?
Eyes closed, on brand for me too. Asleep at the wheel. It's going to be my caption as I share this. Asleep at the helm. Oh my.
Indeed.
I'm one of the few remaining crew members who was around when Khan was on board. Khan was humanity's greatest mistake.
No way to think that was hot sauce. Never mind.
An assortment of rum, both spiced and regular. I just jumped to Futurama. I can't even keep up with my own brain today. It has been a long week.
Now you know how I feel in 24/7. Let's see. All
right. I love how our captions, our subtitles are both dealing with SETI eels.
Well, it's kind of a topic we'll be talking about.
I was in the SETI dactyl. Yeah. It's sort of like Batman. Everything has to be prefixed with SETI. There's a SETI flower.
And what do you call a poinsettia? A SETI poinsettia? No, never mind.
What do you call that couch thing you sit on? A SETI settee?
I'm the seator.
Welcome to the SETI sea.
Wait, they have one of those.
It'll be the SETI Seance.
Khan says, okay, all right, let's get this show on the road.
Oh, you just gave me an idea. Instead of Simon Says, we should play a game of Khan Says.
I grow fatigued.
I will avenge you.
This is SETI Alpha 5.
No one on the audio podcast is going to hear any of this nonsense.
and that's why they just listen to that, I'm sure.
This is how our planning sessions go for Dragon Con. The planning is much funnier than the actual show.
Oh, what Chuck means to say is it's funny different.
Funny haha, like a clown. Do I make you laugh?
Yeah. You amuse me. All right.
Okay, audio levels are checking out. Shall we begin?
I think we should.
Let's get started. In 3, 2, 1.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 189 for Friday, October 24th, 2025. Coming up in this episode, new news from New York about new Trek. Paramount is at it again. And we return to SETI Alpha 6. No, wait. No, that's a mistake. All that and more right now on The Topic is Trek. Yell my name. Yell my name. Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. if it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrill-packed edition of The Topic is Trek. I'm Clinton, one of your co-hosts, and we have another unique situation this week. We'll tell you more about that in just a second, because first of all, beaming in, possibly picking up the mantle of someone else, possibly with the new hip new catchphrase you'll be talking about tomorrow, is Mr. Chuck Tomasi.
What's that in your ear?
What? I can't. No, the other ear. Speak in the other ear. What?
What's that in your ear?
I don't know, but it's very deep in there. All right. And I think you could tell from that bit there that this week we are sans Mr. Craig Stepp,
Yes.
who is in Europe at the moment.
Roaming around Scotland, having a good time, sending us an occasional picture or video. He's been sending us some odd videos, but the most recent one has been, he said, here's a video from ABC's Wide World of Sports back in the 80s. He said, this is the guy on our trip, one of our traveling companions, who I think it was like 1988 or 89, set the world high diving from like 176 feet, where they climb up that skinny little radio tower, stand on a board no bigger than their feet, and jump into Shamu's tank. It's like he's traveling with that guy.
a child's little pool of water. I wonder if that came up naturally in conversation or whether he just leads with that wherever he goes.
He's got a QR code. Watch my video.
I thought for a second you were going to say he's that guy that, jumped off the ski lift and then just went tumble, 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 tumble.
No, the agony of defeat guy.
Yes.
You don't want to be that guy.
No, that guy denies it completely.
Watch my video.
Yeah. No, don't. No, stop.
I should have monetized that thing.
I finally knew then what I know now. I wouldn't have done the ski jump in the first place. But anyway, before we get started with our first main mission, a quick mention that Mr. Doug Drexler, a name familiar to most people out there in Trekdom, he has started a Kickstarter for a project he's doing, which is going to be video documentary. He's got lots of people coming in to join him on that. And that Kickstarter, as I think I said, went live today. So if you go over to Kickstarter and search for Doug Drexler, you'll be able to find that, and you get to see a little bit of a sneak preview of some of the interviews and so forth. If you poke around various places, you can catch a little bit of what's going on there. So Doug's a great guy, and hopefully someday we'll have him on the show. But in the meantime, please go out there and support him if you will.
So the documentary is about him, not by him.
It's about him. Yes, it's about him, and all the stuff that he's done. He's won he's won Academy Awards, Peabody's, and the television one. Why am I blanking on the television ones? Those ones.
The Grammys.
See?
It's not the Emmys. The Grammys. The Grammys is music. Tony's is Broadway.
Yeah, but it is the Emmys, isn't it? I don't know.
I think it's the Emmys are movies.
Wow.
Grammy.
No, the Oscars are the movies.
Oscars are the movies.
Oscar. No, now it's the
I haven't watched any because they're always on Sunday night when we're doing Technorama. We're always going up against those awards shows.
Well, I get confused because it's a new award show every day. They just had
People's Choice,
and there's
presidential.
The podcast ones are getting just as bad. There's another one today from another person. It's like, okay, enough. We have enough awards. That's good. Well, we don't have enough awards.
You get an award, and you get an award. When everybody gets an award, they're no longer special.
All right, but it's time to go out on our main mission, part one. Advance warning that we are going to be talking about episodes 2 and 3 of the audio drama Star Trek Con. So if you haven't,
can I play the alert?
You certainly can.
Spoiler alert.
There, Craig gets a part of the show.
Okay. So if you haven't had a chance to listen to that first and then come back. It's free to listen to. You can find it on Spotify. It's on YouTube. It's all over the place. So just search for Star Trek Con and you can find that. After you've searched for Doug Drex, there's a lot of searching going on after the show. You have homework to do.
You'd think we should put some of these in the show notes.
Well, we do have them in the show notes, but that's
Oh,
beside the point. All right. So let's head out on our main mission, part 1, with an appropriate sound effect.
Oh, I thought we had to ask Charlie. No, wait,
No,
that's
no.
Subspace Chatter.
Ah,
How long we been doing this?
a well-oiled machine.
8 years.
Okay, why don't you give us the lowdown on this one, Craig?
Sure.
Is that
This
correct?
is episode 2 of Star Trek Con, entitled Scheherazade, written by Kristen Beyer and David Mack, based on a story by Nicholas Meyer, directed by Fred Greenhalgh. I hope that's close, because that looks like one of those Gaelic words that might be Halige.
That's it. Fred Green. I don't know.
Green Haggis. Well, the synopsis goes something like this. As they acclimate to the beauty and the promise of their new home, Khan and his people also encounter deadly dangers waiting to catch them unawares.
Okay. So let's get into this one. We already had our bit of establishing stuff in the first episode. It was covering familiar ground. So now we start to tread into the area that really is kind of an open palette, if you will, right? That
Right.
we know the beginning, we know the end of the story. It's the stuff in the middle that's going to make a difference. And so we're now becoming more familiar with a lot of these characters.
Right.
And some of them we get to know briefly.
Yeah. By the way, you die in episode 2.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like those things where if somebody gets introduced and suddenly there's an episode all about them, that's it. They're
If they weren't in the movie, they probably died somewhere in the series. And we already know that his wife dies. Marla MacGyver's dies. So that's no spoiler. But she's not dead yet.
right.
What we do find out from her is that she's still kind of shunned by the group as a whole. And even Ivan, who is what did he say? He's from Tashkent. He said, "This is just like back in Tashkent."
He's just a little ball of too much energy and
Yeah.
hate.
He's got the throttle on full the whole time. He's dedicated to Khan, and we will see this in later episodes where that can be a liability for him. We start to see a little bit of that in episodes 2 and some in 3 as well.
Well, he killed somebody at the end of the first episode. I mean, gee,
Oh, was that at the first episode?
Yeah.
I'm up to like 5 in my listening, so I had to go back and listen to 2 and 3 specifically today to get those. So Marla is still like, nobody will even talk to me kind of thing. And they're kind of keeping her at arm's length, calling her Khan's woman or not calling her anything at all.
Yeah.
Like, we never hardly see you.
The phone never rings. Yeah.
Yeah. And
but
I forgot what the gathering together was, but
the gathering together was because they were burying Hugo, the person that
right. They were burying Hugo, and
some of them thought that he had an accident, and some of them thought that he did himself in, as you were. But we know the truth, and I don't know if anybody suspects that. I don't know if even Khan suspects that happened. I get the feeling that Khan is sometimes in denial about things that happen.
He is, but I think he sees himself, now that he's got a planet and he's responsible for all these people, he sees his role changing a little bit. It's not so much us against them. It's, hey, we gotta not only survive here, but we need to thrive. And how do we do this in the best way possible? So let's go out and explore everything on our new planet. And you've got Richter drawing plant pictures, and I forgot his girlfriend's name. There's
Silvana. So Silvana is
Silvana.
Richter and Sylvana, Erica and I think there's
Joaquin?
someone. Yeah, but what Joaquin is not on this particular mission, but those three are the young, and then you have
Oh,
Khan,
right.
Marla, Joaquim, not to be confused with Joaquim, who is you know, probably is roughly as old as Khan is, because he gets called out by name in Space Seed, so they're roughly the same name, same age. And who else? And yeah, so Khan, Marla, and Ivan are the leading the charge, if you will. Well, Marla's there really because Khan said, "You're coming with us for the survey," and she's not going to question that. She's just at this point, she's kind of happy that somebody's even talking to her to have her come along
Right.
and do something.
The thing that I didn't realize, and this series really brings it to the fore, is that Khan rescued a bunch of children, the augment children.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were his peers because when you watch Space Seed, there's not this great differential in age.
Well,
When you
well,
watch Wrath of Khan, there clearly is.
well. I think what you're seeing in Space Seed, I think what they're implying is that the young people that got rescued are still on the ship. The people that you're seeing with Khan who are taking over the ship in Space Seed are Ivan and
Okay.
Ursula, you know, those 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 people. And so then the young ones are reanimated
Mhm.
once brought out of the deep freezer, once they're going to go to City Alpha 5.
Gotcha. Okay. That's where the younglings come in. And then, of course, we see much younger actors than Ricardo Montalban in Star Trek Wrath of Khan. So there's this great, hey, Crazy Joe. So that's really made clear that he feels these are his children in a very strong sense. He's taken responsibility for them. I don't get that sense so much from Ivan. He's like
No,
full speed ahead. Damn the torpedoes. Whatever happens, we're
if
gonna
it
beat it.
moves, I will kill it.
Pretty much. And speaking of which, we're mourning Hugo's death, and is it Khan that asks Marla to talk about Scheherazade? That's where we get the title from this show.
Yes. Well, he says, "Well, you're a historian. Why don't you, tell us a story?" And she's, "Well, so she tells the story. She doesn't tell Scheherazade stories, but she tells the story of Scheherazade,
Right.
and how she told the 1001 tales. And so when that's all done, she says, okay, Khan, now it's your turn to tell a story." Well,
He's
I don't
caught
do
on
that
his
kind of thing.
back foot, all right. He's
Yeah.
like, no, I don't have any stories.
Yeah. And he gets a little defensive about the whole thing because it's this feeling that, he has responsibilities now. And he, what he's saying is he doesn't care so much what people think of him anymore, because people are just not going to believe him. The history was written poorly, and that's not going to change. And I know what I did and what I didn't do. And he just gets really worked up about it and drop that subject.
Yeah.
Ixnay, and they asking about, past A at this point. So Marla wisely kind of backs off on that at that point and doesn't really press him on it for a while.
And just as that's ending, out comes a wild boar.
Yeah, so we'd seen the wild boars before, as they were doing the surveys. These boars are, I don't know if we got a good sense of the size of them. It's not the rather large, equivalent of rather large earth boars, but they all have tusks.
Mhm.
Even the children, the young ones, have tusks, and they kill one of them. It is Joaquim who shoots it with a rifle, but he needs to take a second shot before he can get it off. Of course, Ivan goes, "Ugh, I will kill it," and he just,
With my bare hands.
yeah, twice. So as they're in camp, then suddenly the wild boars say, "Ah, I remember you," and they start charging into camp. And unclear how many of them come in, but enough. It was enough because you don't have to confuse Joaquim with Yaquim anymore.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression it was multiples. I thought it was just the mate, and Khan starts he starts going after Joaquin, and Khan starts yelling at it like, "No, I'm the one who took your mate. Come after me." And I thought he was just doing that to be blustery. Um, some chest beating there for a
Well,
minute.
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think that's the way he felt, but also it's like get the attention away
Right.
from him.
He was drawing the attention away
Right.
so Joaquin wouldn't be killed, but sadly he was.
Yeah, and the timing was really great on all this stuff because they had earlier in the day noticed these flying creatures called um,
Dactyls.
Cetidactyls because Khan told Erica that they're discovering things that they have to have new names. It's like we can't call this not a blueberry. It should be what it is, what it should be here, and you should be coming up with the names for this stuff. And she's like, responsibility. But so the first thing she comes up with is yeah, that. But they'd also uh had some brushes with bugs. Well, Sylvana had a brush with a bug as she and
Oh, yeah,
Richter
she
were
got
going off to doing some
bit in
studying.
the leg.
They were studying. They were doing some studying.
Working up an appetite is what I
Yes,
remember.
yes. But suddenly they come screaming back into camp. Sylvana says, get it off me, get it off me, get it off me. And they're looking for what this thing is. And they finally find something crawling up her leg and they kill that. And then they go, where's Richter? Oh, yeah, kind of forget about one of your what happened to him?
Yeah, we find out more about him in the next episode.
Right. But I'm gonna start keeping a death toll, I decided.
I think you're going to need a scorecard.
So we entered this episode with one death, and that was Hugo from who was I put the little note that's kind of like uh that alphabet was it is it the Charles, no, it's not the Charles Adams one, that's the alphabet with grim stories for each of them. But anyway, so this is Hugo, who was pushed off a cliff by Ivan, who saw him as an enemy. And we leave with one more, and that's Joaquin, impaled by a wild boar. So the death toll right now is 2.
All my notes say for that one is Joaquin died of boredom.
Oh, or he was gored by the boar. All right. Oh, so the thing that was on Sylvana's leg was they identified it as a larva. So it would just be I would
Yeah,
imagine
what was
extremely
that?
small. So, well, that was the larva of a seti eel. So it was I think it was just like attached to the body, it was going to work its way up. Because that probably was from what it could be from when she squished the thing in the forest. If she killed something, it's possible that those just came out and one of them got onto her. Or it could just be because it was wherever they were near the trees, there was a nest or just a couple of them roaming around or something. But yeah, it I couldn't tell from her reaction how much of her reaction was. I don't think any of her reaction was the effects that we know are the effects of a seti eel. I think that was just there's this thing on me, get it off,
Mhm.
which I thought was like a little over the top. So either she doesn't like bugs on her, or even outside as a larva, a seti eel can have an effect on you, which is kind of a frightening thought.
I don't want to be anywhere near him, despite my
No,
title as a SETI eel farmer.
yes. Well,
I was
you
going to
know,
put in SETI eel husbandry, but I thought that might be a little too far.
so Khan, as we've talked about in this episode, he's showing this I'm responsible for everything. So he tells Ivan to take everyone else and go back to camp, and he is going to go wait a minute, why am I getting myself mixed up here?
Yeah,
Because
where did he go? I know he's
he's going to he's going to take. Wasn't he? He
He
was
goes
taking Akeem's.
somewhere,
He
and
took Akeem's
everybody's like,
body back. Wait a minute.
he's
Wait a
not
minute.
coming back. But that might be the next episode.
Wait a second.
My notes
Yeah.
aren't
So
that
he.
great. I'm gonna be
So
better at taking them.
well, hold on a second. He says, all right. So Khan is taking Akeem's body back to camp, but the one where. Okay, so the one where Richter is, they're going to go look for Richter. That's it. Okay, they're going to go look for Richter, and Khan is going to take Joaquim's body back to camp because he says, I must do this. I must do it for his son. And I just feel like he's already feeling like I've lost one person already and now I'm losing another one.
He's not happy. As someone who's supposed to be taking care of these people, he feels like he's failing.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
And he gives one of these lines at the end of it. It's like, I do not fear the creatures of this world.
They should fear me.
Yes, if it's they who should fear me. SETI Alpha 5 has taken 2 of my people from me in as many months. They shall not have a third. Ooh, foreshadowing. Didn't know Khan was that literal about things that he could just telegraph what's coming up after this.
Hey, he doesn't know yet. Don't spoil it.
Yeah. So one group goes one way, Khan goes the other way.
All right, look at that. Perfect timing. Wrap up in ratings.
All right. I would say we rate this on SETI Eels, but gosh, that's going to be so many episodes.
It's going to be every week. It'll be SETI Eels.
How about on SETI Dactyls?
SETI Dactyls sounds good.
Okay. Why don't you go first on this one, Chuck?
All right. I like the world building that they continue to do. I'm glad that they are not afraid to kill off characters. I mean, I wouldn't want to be one of the voice actors who didn't get very far. But all joking aside, when I first started listening to this series, I was had to like realign my brain that we're not going to get Ricardo Montalban to voice act Khan, obviously. I don't recall the actor who is doing his voice, but he's becoming Khan in my mind. So when I hear him, it's becoming more gelled. I'm enjoying the acting more. I'm not seeing it as actors reading a script anymore or hearing it as actors reading a script, but I'm able to immerse myself in this story. So as we get into episodes 2 and especially into episodes 3, the sort of technical real aspects are disappearing, and I'm able to escape into the fantasy of this. I like excuse me. I like how they're weaving. I don't recall, did they do this in episode 2? Did they go back to Sulu's ship at all in this one?
In this episode, I believe it was just at the very beginning. You have Dr. Lear starting to play one of the tapes. I think that was the extent of her involvement in that episode.
And she and Tuvok were having a discussion about the meteor shower.
No, not that's. I think
that's okay. That's okay. Sorry, that was a bit off, but I'm enjoying this. I don't have anything specifically to bag on in this one, so I'm going to rate it pretty high. I'm going to give it an 8.5, simply because I'm still learning the characters and who they are, or as long as they stick around. There's a lot to keep track of. The actors are doing a pretty good job of giving us context to who they are and where they are, but occasionally I get thrown off. But very much enjoying this in terms of production and writing and acting as well. So 8.5.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with you on the voices. It's Naveen Andrews, by the way, who's playing Khan.
Oh, thank you.
In this. Yeah, I struggle sometimes with some of the voices, especially between Ursula and Marla. It's
yes.
Like, sometimes I can't. I really have. I can't tell. Like I'm listening really hard to figure out which one it is, but
and you figure out who it is after they say what they in your mind a little bit.
Yeah, because it's like in context, like they're having a conversation with someone, and as we know, conversations don't naturally start off, well, hi, Chuck, how are you doing today? And
I'm doing great, Clinton.
Yes, it just doesn't happen that way. the problem always with a story like this is that we know where it starts and we know where it ends. So it's the gray in the middle that you have to make work. And Nicholas Meyer, who came up with the original story for this, had painted himself into this corner because he said SETI Alpha 6 exploded 6 months after they got there. So you've got 6 months total of story time before that event happens. So you're trying to cram in as much of this world as you can in a very short
How
amount of
many people
time.
do we have to kill? And when we see it years later, it's a desert planet. So are they going to carry us past the explosion of the planet in the story?
Well, we know, I think, yeah, from the very first episode that when they discover the stuff, that we hear Khan giving some of the narration. So we know that after Marla is dead, he's still doing this log. So it's quite possible we could get up to the beaming down of Chekhov and Terrell. He probably wouldn't have unless he was just out of habit doing them as he went along, but they were going right up to that ship at that point. So before we go to the ship, let me just do this entry in the log here. No, that probably didn't happen. But
You guys hang out over there. Let
but
those eels settle in.
yeah, I'll put you on this hook over here with those handles are in your spacesuits. Yeah, so I am enjoying this. I did like how they were, they were hinting at things we know we're going to be coming along later and not hitting you over the head with it, which I really
Mhm,
appreciated,
mhm.
and concentrating on the characters. So I'm going to give it an 8.5, definitely on
Yeah,
this one.
the characters are definitely starting to come into their own. We're getting some depth, and spoiler alert, in the next episode or two, we're really going to see that come through.
Hmm.
This isn't just a bunch of castaways who blindly follow Khan because he's Khan.
Guess he couldn't con them anymore. Anyway,
Um,
let's stop that, and we're going to come back from our first main mission with an appropriate sound effect.
Different buttons.
Ooh, what does this button do? All right.
Launch torpedoes.
Now, before we do subspace chatter, of course, we always have to ask Charlie, Charlie X, or Mirror Charlie, who we don't know which one we're going to get, if it's okay to do subspace chatter. So I will ask. We will see. Charlie, is it okay to do subspace chatter?
You don't need all that subspace chatter.
Oh, Charlie X.
Does he ever take a vacation?
No, he doesn't. His life is a vacation. He feels, he can.
Send him to SETI Alpha 5.
Yeah. This will be the garden spot. Oh, sure, Charlie. Whatever you say, Charlie. All right, let's get started with actual subspace chatter. And I've got the first story here, it looks like. So let's go. We have the slide here. The Star Trek Starfleet Academy panel at New York ComicCon delivered on at least one highly anticipated piece of information: its premiere date.
Woohoo!
The new series will begin its streaming on Paramount Plus on Thursday, January 15th, 2026. It will kick off with what I call the now obligatory "Why Are You Rushing Through This?" 2 episodes on that first day, and the first season will end on March 12th. Honestly, there's nothing after this. Slow down,
Exactly. Let's stretch this out. There's no need to pile on 2 in 1 week, and, all you're doing is cutting yourself off of a last week. Do you have
Anyway.
any plans out there? Maybe that's when they take vacation or something.
Yeah, maybe so. All right. Key cast members attended the Starfleet Academy portion of the New York ComicCon Star Trek Universe panel, including veteran actors Holly Hunter and Paul Giamatti, along with cadet actors and co-showrunners Alex Kurtzman and Noga Landau. Noga Landau? I think it's Noga. Hunter plays Chancellor Nalia, and I believe this is also Ake. I feel like the names we're going to know a little better pretty soon, but I think
Yeah.
it's AKE. I think it's Ake, a 422-year-old half-lanthanite captain. Does she know Palea? Guinan?
Mm.
Who knows? Paul Giamatti reveals his character, Nusbraka, will be the main villain, described as half Klingon, half Tellarite. Lots of half this and half that's going on here. An extended trailer for Academy premiered during the panel. Sylvia Tilly, aka Mary Wiseman, can be seen in one shot. And as we have previously reported, Tilly may only appear in Starfleet Academy for one episode in the first season.
Wait, I thought I thought she was like a core component of this. She left Discovery to go to Starfleet to teach. Is she just going to be like the Dr. McCoy of the first episode of Enterprise? I mean, Next Gen?
I don't know. The series, set in the post-burn 32nd century, focuses on young cadets facing a new enemy that threatens the Federation. I believe that is Mr. Giamatti there. Co-showrunners Landau teased that the show will address the mystery of Captain Benjamin Sisko's disappearance following the conclusion of Deep Space Nine.
He didn't disappear. We know where he went.
Well, we know where he went, but we don't know then what?
Well, that's the point.
The producers also explained that the structure of the show relies on the starship USS Athena, which is built into the San Francisco campus, acting as a kind of quote unquote teaching hospital to send cadets into space for hands-on experiences and real world jeopardy. The producers have stated that this was how they solved the problem that had always been a stumbling block for attempts to do an Academy series. If Star Trek is about space exploration, how can you have a show about cadets studying at an academy? Again, the show begins streaming on January 15th, 2025, and the topic is Trek. We'll be there to cover it.
Yes. That evening, we will have to review 2 episodes. We're going to have a show on that night. Count on it.
Humana.
Even if we have one the week before and we're talking about a book we read over Christmas or something, we're going to align on that one. All right, next story. The team behind Star Trek Strange New Worlds say season 4 is a major creative leap. They had uninterrupted production time, stability in staffing, and felt they could lean into what the cast does best, improving after a problematic season 3. I believe we talked about that a couple episodes ago. How it just wasn't top-notch stuff the whole way through. There were some good episodes in there, mind you. The show has been renewed for a 5th and final season, which will be shorter, 6 episodes instead of the usual 10, and is intended to complete their narrative arc, bringing characters closer to the timeline of Star Trek, the original series. Lead actor Anson Mount, aka Captain Pike, described ending the show as bittersweet. While he values the long-form storytelling and the growth of his character, there's a nostalgic sadness about wrapping up the series. Co-showrunner Akiva Goldsman said, "We just had more time for season 4. Just had more time, more continuous time." It's starting to sound like Soren. If only I
needed more time.
The fire.
What am I talking about? I have a time machine. Oh, I'm crossing the streams again.
We didn't have staffing changes. We didn't have a strike. That strike, of course, caused change. Those things are real. And starting up and shutting down and starting up again is complicated. And a quick quote from Ethan Peck. He says, "There are moments in season 4 where I see the formation of Kirk, and it's really exciting." So they are bringing these people together. Again, kind of like you were mentioning with that 6 months on Star Trek Con before SETI Alpha 6 goes kaboom. We do have things that we need to put in place before we get there.
Well, and there are things we wonder, like, who will we have and who we not have? And there's they've said that they won't introduce a Chekhov character because Chekhov wasn't in the first season.
Right.
Now,
does that extend?
Right, but does that extend to you don't have a McCoy in the first, in the first episode either? I don't know if that will be the case. And that, we're not talking about Pike, although we never saw that doctor on Strange New Worlds, but we're talking about the doctor that was in Where No Man Has Gone Before,
right?
Before McCoy. So we will see. We will see as we go along. Alrighty. In a surprise casting announcement made during the Star Trek Universe panel, a video was played featuring Stephen Colbert. The late night talk show host announced that he has joined the cast of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. It said the whole thing out there. Colbert will provide the voice of the digital dean of students. His character will be responsible for giving daily announcements to the Starfleet cadets and alerting them to anything requiring their immediate attention.
The lunch menu today is meatloaf.
Pizza squares again. Yeah, they're replicated, but they're pizza squares.
You said daily announcements, and that's the first thing I hear. Ding, ding, ding. Hello, students. This is your principal.
It might very well be that. Who knows?
All right, next one. The narrative-driven survival horror game Star Trek Infection VR is officially scheduled to launch worldwide on December 11th, 2025 for Quest 3, 3S, and PC VR platforms. Oh, how I wish I were a gamer and knew how to read those. I'm throwing you a bone, gamers. The game marks a significant departure from the previous Star Trek VR titles, focusing on psychological and physical horror aboard the wrecked USS Lumen. Players take on the role of a Vulcan Starfleet officer attempting to complete a covert mission while gradually succumbing to the mysterious infection that has consumed the ship. This is interesting because they take on the role of Vulcan Starfleet officers. Like, ooh, this is different. I kind of like this.
Yeah. I also want to mention that we talked previously about the Voyager video game coming out. If you go to Steam, you can get a free demo of like the first couple of scenes of that and play the characters. I've seen a couple of reviews of it, and the people that reviewed it said the ship looks great. The characters look a little last generation type of the way a character would look in a video game, and they were disappointed that there was no voices and no music, no Voyager music, and the creators of the game say that those things will be coming for the actual game, but they're not in the demo. But so if you want to check that out, again, if you have a Steam account or just sign up for one, which I believe is free. I don't think I've ever paid anything for it. And you can just download this and, play it for a few minutes. And it's the interesting thing about it is that it's generated based on your decisions. So if you might want to be very heavy into shooting things. And so it's going to make things that are going to be more difficult to do based on the fact you're doing things that are shooting things. Or you could base your stuff around science, and then suddenly a big bad comes along and you've got no weapons. So you're making these decisions as you go through. And I believe one of them is Tuvix. Yes, no.
Oh dear.
So you can make that decision yourself and see how that goes for you.
Well, apparently neither Tim Russ nor Kate Mulgrew had any problem with that decision.
All right. Next up, we barely gotten used to calling it Paramount, a Skydance company. And now this, amid the pending layoff of some 2,000 employees, Paramount is trying to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers Discovery's board turned down the latest bid from David Ellison and the gang at Paramount, a Skydance company, deeming the valuation, which reportedly offered $24 a share with 80% of that in cash, as too low. Warner Brothers believes their studio and streaming assets, which include franchises like Harry Potter and Game of Thrones, are worth significantly more, except the last season of Game of Thrones. CEO David Zaslav has reportedly signaled that he would demand close to $30 a share for a full sale. After receiving, quote unquote, unsolicited interest from multiple parties, including Netflix and Comcast, Warner Brothers Discovery announced that its board is now reviewing all strategic alternatives. This means Warner Brothers could sell the entire company or pursue its original plan to split into separate businesses. Hello, CBS Viacom. So what's next? Well, Paramount Skydance is expected to prepare another offer. Thanks to support from David Ellison's father, Oracle Chairman Larry Ellison, Paramount could also attempt a hostile bid going directly to Warner Brothers Discovery shareholders, which those things get nasty. So you want to try to avoid that if you can. A key outcome of a merger like this could be the combination of the HBO Max, or whatever it's called this week, and Paramount Plus, and whatever it's called this week, streaming platforms. The newly merged service would boast over 200 million subscribers.
I want to know how many shares we're talking about. Is $24 to $30 a big deal?
It is. I was trying to find the dollar amount on it, and yeah, I found the share price that it was trading at when that offer was made. So it was a substantial amount over.
Oh, they
that.
usually are.
Yeah. And, at a certain point, as we know from the past couple of years, if you don't move on something, your shareholders are going to get a bit antsy about the whole thing.
Yep.
So we'll see how this plays out. And, if it happens, what happens to us after that?
Fine.
All right.
We'll make it $20. I'd buy that for $1.
There you go.
Totally wrong movie now. All right. The concept for a potential new series, Star Trek United, is generating significant fan excitement around the return of Scott Bakula as President Jonathan Archer, decades after the events of Star Trek Enterprise. Although the political thriller style show is not officially in production, the idea has gained traction, leading legendary Trek designer Andrew Probert to collaborate on a concept for Archer's new official starship. Probert's design for the ship, provisionally dubbed Starfleet 1 or Federation 1, kind of like Air Force 1 kind of thing, is intended to act as a visual link between the NX-01 and the classic starships of the original series. We have some links in the show notes over at thetopicistrek.com, episode 189, that you can check out. There's included a video with I forgot who was it. Mike Sussman.
Mike Sussman. Yeah.
Mike Sussman was talking about this and throwing around the ideas, and he was talking to Scott Bakula and saying, he doesn't want to just do another Enterprise. Neither of them do. They say, we did that. That's nice. But there are some Easter eggs or some breadcrumbs in Enterprise that say, Archer became this on this date, and they're trying to play into that. So they're throwing around some concept art of what this ship might look like. They want it to have a star drive section, and they need some kind of pod that comes out of that, almost like a captain's yacht sort of thing, so they can go down to the planet. They want to be able to land on the planet, but still be able to travel at warp speed. So the ship designs were kind of cool. And then the whole discussion of where do you see Archer and getting a little inside information on this, even though it may never come to fruition, I thought was very fascinating watching this discussion happen.
Right. And, I don't think they gave any, Sussman gave any indication as to whether or not they have done any kind of pitching to Paramount yet.
No.
So all these different ideas of things that we've heard, and people get really excited about them. And I'm always like, it's not even a official pitch yet. It's not like it's going to go into production next week. They're going to have to decide what they want, what they don't want, and maybe they don't want any of that stuff. Maybe they want some different direction. So, you're going to have to wait a little while to see.
The fact that Scott is open to discussions is encouraging. So I'd be interested in seeing how that goes, because he said he was inspired when they wrapped up Star Trek Picard and said, well, when are we going to get a Star Trek Archer? And went, hey, wait a minute, we did leave some open doors there, and we could possibly play into that. You're talking about production reminded me when we were talking about Strange New World seasons 4 and 5. Season 5 is in production right now. They're supposed to be wrapping that up. I think they said September through December, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of actors that are out of work, but they won't be able to say anything on the next Star Trek cruise, of course.
Right.
And I thought software releases were weird, because you're working on software and then you got to get into a release, and then you got to get customers to adopt it and install it. And that takes time. Imagine, Ethan Peck going, I worked on that like in September of 2025. And we don't know when we're going to see this on air, but it could be late 2026 or early 2027 before we get these episodes.
Right. I think depending on the show, you see this more in movies, though. You have somebody on a talk show talking about a movie, and what they're doing is they're trying to remember, because movie production, they've done that like a year and a half, 2 years ago. And they're,
and they've probably worked on other projects that are messing with their mind too.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, we want to make sure our actors stay employed.
Yes, indeed. All right. And in Vulcan, Alberta, Canada news, well, we don't have any...
We have Vulcan news?
Well, we do.
Okay.
But while we're still
coming.
While we're still waiting for Trek news out of Vulcan, Alberta, Canada, this article came across our subspace relay. A resident of Vulcan has just snagged a world record. That's right. Say hello to Beef, the massive Holstein steer, who is now officially recognized by Guinness World Records as the world's tallest living steer.
How tall is it?
Well, let me tell you about this. Beef lives with his owner, Jasmine Entz, on a ranch right in Vulcan County, Alberta. Beef is 8 years old and stands at a stunning 1.95 meters tall, which is about 6 feet 5 inches tall.
Taller than me.
Beef is taller than a pickup truck. Entz has had Beef since he was a scrawny calf in August of 2017, and she says it was love at first sight. Though he weighs in at over 2,400 pounds, about the same as a rhinoceros, Beef was always meant to be a pet.
But you named it Beef. That sounds like it's going to end up on the dinner plate.
Yeah, there's always that threat hanging over your head, To power his record-breaking animal, Beef needs about 45 kilograms of hay every single day. He also has a special love for fall treats. Last year, he ate an entire pickup truck full of post-Halloween pumpkins in just 3 hours. He now lives out his days relaxing or lounging, as his owner puts it, with his best cow buddies, a horse, and over 50 miniature goats. What a life. So
don't eat the goats.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't look like a pumpkin. Don't look like a pumpkin. Main mission.
Where else are you going to hear about that but this show?
Nowhere else.
You might hear about it on Comedy Forecast. I hear some pretty strange stories over there.
That's right. We got odd stories going on right now. So yes, you might indeed. But we have links to an additional 97 stories. If you want to check out more Trek, you can. Exactly, Eric. You can do that after the show, not during the show, because that's multitasking and that's just not going to work out so well. But you can go over to the show notes for this episode. Yell my name over at thetopicistrek.com, and you can find all that stuff. We didn't have, oddly enough, this time around in the links, there's nothing about any of the movies. I think it's the first time that's ever happened. The majority of the links are no surprise between Strange New Worlds and Starfleet Academy, because not only are they the shows in production, but also related to the fact that they were both at New York ComicCon. So a lot of links, but there are plenty of other things in there, and there's even a section with Actor Watch. Chris Pine is doing some theater work, and we're trying to keep track of some of these people as well as the other things that they're up to. So check all those links out. All right, and now comes one of my favorite parts of the show, and that's when I get to say goodbye, Charlie.
I want to stay.
Oop, he's got the...
Wait a minute. He's morphing. He's morphing.
He's shaving.
If you think that's a real beard, sure, he's shaving. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket.
Generative whiskers.
Oh, Charlie. All right. Time to head out on our main mission part 2 with an appropriate sound effect.
Sound effect. Let's take the elevator.
Ooh.
And here we are in the subterranean level of mission 2.
Kind of felt like the Discovery version of that. Anyway, all right.
Sounds like a cat.
Yeah, speed it up. See what it sounds. See what it really is. I think is it wind? I think it might be wind.
That's supposed to be the subterranean elevator, like
No,
on.
no, no. But I mean,
Oh,
if you speed it up fast enough, I think it might be wind. I'm not sure.
okay.
You
Or
know,
slow it down.
that's one of the. Yeah, I'm just a nerd like that. I'll like speed up and slow down things. Going, what is that
Oh
really?
yeah.
Okay. I'll take this one here. So we have main mission part 2. This is Star Trek Con episode 3. Do your worst.
And it
Written
has
by
nothing to do with German sausages.
no, that's not no. Written by the usual people and directed by based on a story by the same person and directed by the same person. Let's move on.
Is that going to be the thing all the way through the series?
Yeah. So I don't know, just a cut and paste. Khan's nascent colony celebrates its first pregnancy, but there's also suffering that's also suffered severe losses to their numbers, while a new threat to the entire planet reveals itself. Dun dun dun. All righty, so let's get into this one here. Let's see, what have I got here? So we've got a bunch of we have different groups of people doing things at times, so we can kind of look at some of this stuff here. But we do find out that so we
Find
get
out what happens to Richter.
we get a little bit more time with Dr. Lear and Tuvok in this one.
Yes.
When she's listening to one of the tapes, it's Khan speaking. We start off with that. And yeah, so we talked about earlier, so does this keep up? Well, he was saying he was making a recording for 16 and a half years. She was estimating between 16 and a half and 17 and 3/4 of years after they were exiled there, which is long after the planet exploded, SETI Alpha 6 exploded.
Yeah.
So he was definitely keeping that up. And we got to find out that Captain Sulu likes his ambient sounds.
Get one of those radios that plays rain.
You're scratching the paint.
They parked the ship right into like a meteor shower, and you hear this. It sounds like kind of rain on the roof. Like, dude, I have a Bluetooth sleep band that does it for me. And remind me of the archivist, the scientist, the lady's name again.
Dr. Lear, Dr. Rosalind
Dr.
Lear.
Lear. So she's like, I can't concentrate with all this noise. And you hear Tuvok say, Captain Sulu likes his ambient noise of rain. You're chipping the paint.
You should know better. It's a nice ship. What are you doing that for? All right, so let's look at the journey of Khan and Richter. Because Khan returns to the camp with Joachim's body.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like heading back out and searching for Richter. And Richter is not acting himself. He's
Who are you? Who am I?
Yeah.
He's and of course we in the know what's up. But
because he says right away, first thing he says to Khan is that, be quiet. It's better when I'm quiet. And I think that's because if he's not thinking a thought that's trying to be adversarial, like, I want this thing out of me, if he just doesn't do anything, then maybe the eel is not so active. But as soon as things happen, it kicks right in on him.
I'm wondering, there's other wildlife on this planet, like the boars. Do the SETI eels go after the boars too?
Well, my guess is that, since these things are supposedly native to the planet, that for some, yes, but there's probably also birds that eat, cetidactyls that love to eat SETI eels, and it doesn't bother them at all. So I think that probably there are some creatures that would be affected by it, but know what it is and avoid it at all costs.
Oh, you know what? We need Dr. Noor on this. I'll bet he's got something to say. When this series wraps up, we got to get him.
Yes.
They go, let's talk about SETI Alpha 5.
We'll say, lend us an ear and no, wait,
Oh,
oh,
soon.
yeah. So the first inkling we get, which is subtle, and so you'd have to know that this is what's going on to get it, is Khan tells Richter to calm down, and he immediately calms down, and it doesn't last, but he immediately does. He just after being hysterical, and it's because he's very prone to suggestion right now. And here's
Yeah.
someone telling him to do something, demanding that he do this thing. And so he does that thing.
Now, stand on one leg and sing countdown races.
Yes, cluck like a chicken.
Hey, this is a lot of fun.
So they try to get out of there, and it's going slowly, but it's going when suddenly, I believe what happens is they're walking near the shoreline, and I think Khan says that it was a sea serpent, but I'm not quite sure. Something comes out of the water, and Richter obviously freaks out and goes running off, and Khan kills it and says, no, it's fine, it's dead. And Richter has run up a tree.
Yeah. Okay, so
It's like a cat. He just ran up a tree.
Come down out of there. And it sounds like he basically falls out of the tree. Like, thunk.
Yeah, because he says, like, I command you to come down. And so he does.
He comes out and says, why did you do that?
Because you told me to.
You told me to.
Then we get...
And then he says, wait a minute. Well, before he does that, before he
Mhm.
falls, I think he says, what is that, dirt or blood in your ear? What's going on? So he does notice something about the ear that's suspicious.
Right. And then Khan makes a foreshadowing mistake at this point. I mean, I don't consider it a mistake, but poor choice of words, not situational in the command. I don't know how you want to phrase it, because he says, you will fight for your life, fight. And so this is how he gets Richter to walk with him, even though at this point he's broken his ankle, right?
Yeah.
And he gets him to walk back to camp because he has been told, and probably was constantly told, we hear it once, but I've got a feeling that needed reinforcement again and again and again, that, you will survive, you will live, you will fight.
But
And
Richter also indicates there's voices scream, not necessarily voices, but noises screaming in his head too.
right. And we get a sound effect that there are certain times when you hear a sound effect, which is very reminiscent of the steady eels screeching in Star Trek II. So I think that's supposed to indicate to you, this is kind of what they're hearing, this like gnawing noise going on inside their head. But they do make it back to camp. But we'll talk more about camp in a minute in that regard. But this other thing that's happening is Ursula is giving Mado a medical exam, and she is pregnant.
And has a very strong heartbeat. The embryo, the fetus has a very strong heartbeat. There's only, what, 2 months along or something? It's fairly early.
Yes. And Ursula says, I'm guessing based on this level of development that it'll be about 36 weeks. And I don't know if they were aware of how long it would take, because, the way they were brought up, who was separated, who, how all this stuff worked. So I think they knew how long a human, on a non-augment human, would take. So
Sure.
this is becoming a kind of well, this is a lot faster than one would expect. Then Paolo comes in, and we get a callback.
Paulo comes in and he says, I've improved our scanner.
And he says that he did it by using this piece of wire.
A coil or something he found
Yeah.
on the ground?
Well, where he found the coil was he found it in Marla's quarters. And what that was is that was from the communicator that Khan smashed.
Oh, right.
Right. So he used it, and he increased it by a factor of 10. And I think it's Ursula who asked, like, well, what is the upper limit of it? He goes, I haven't found one yet. Don't know. So she says, okay, he wants to borrow, what does he want to borrow? Some superconducting solder to continue his work. So he's given that. All right. At that point, our stories start to merge together, because now Khan has returned with Richter, and he's brought into the medical facility.
Well, didn't Paulo in this episode? Maybe it's not this episode. Did he detect that SETI Alpha 6 is becoming unstable?
So we get to that a bit later.
Okay.
I'm trying to keep condensed by location at this
All
point.
right. I see how you're going.
Okay, so Khan comes into back into the camp with Joaquin, with Joaquin, right? And they're looking.
No, Richter. He came back. Joaquin was killed by the boar.
Right. So,
he's
but
bringing Richter.
Ursula is looking at Joaquin's body.
Yep.
And she says, I've never seen a wound this big. And he describes a boar, and Ivan says that it seems everything on this planet is meant to kill us. And I
sounds like Arizona.
I don't think I don't. It sounds like Australia.
You're right.
So this is actually before Khan comes back, because Ursula is very concerned that if Khan doesn't come back, Ivan is in charge.
Yeah.
And she says, he is not a leader. This is not going to work. So
Ivan, you start to get a little more color for Ivan, apart from the Hugo incident, and say he just keeps showing his cards.
Yeah, I mean, rushing off to kill the boar, do another, and she's mad at him also, because he let Khan go off alone searching for Richter, and he says, I didn't have a choice. He commanded me to do it, so I had to do it. Which I don't know. At least that is a somewhat fair defense, given that everybody else does things that Khan tells them to do. So I guess that would be the case. So now we can jump ahead a bit to the scanner, because then Paula comes back. He's done some scanning outside after vastly improving the range of the scanner. I mean, by a lot. And there's something he can't identify that it's telling him about. So the computer identifies it, which, by the way, I thought it was interesting that Ursula, when she talks to the computer, she addresses it like a person, something like you in there, or something like that. And I said, that makes sense, because if it was the 1990s,
they didn't even have the voice activated Amazon assistant or Google assistant, or, pick your favorite digital assistant that we have today. So you wouldn't, it would be as confusing as Scotty picking up the mouse and going, hello, computer.
Exactly.
In reverse.
So the computer identifies it as a magnetic field emanating from an astronomical body with an unstable core. Dun, dun, dun. Saw that coming. Well, of course we saw that coming. We know that that's coming. But Ursula says, it's going to take millions of years to happen. So I wouldn't worry about it. But Paolo borrows Kassan. So first time I think we've heard mention of this person's name. I could be wrong. Kassan, who has a telescope and apparently traveled over 2 continents with it. He really, really likes his telescope. So don't break it,
Well, think how long Giorgio had hers.
That's true. It's a hand-me-down. All right. So Marla gets a chance to talk to Joachim. And now that, because he's gone off, he doesn't know what to do. He says he wants to be anywhere but there. And the two of them sort of bond over the fact that she lost her father around that age, and and he has questions that she can't answer, but she tries to comfort him anyway about, do you think my mother and father are together? And he says, well, if that's what you believe and nobody knows, then that's what you should hold. That's, if that makes you feel better, then definitely hold on to that, because it's a long road to recovery, and you need all the help you can in that regard. So, definitely. So it's a nice quiet moment, like those quiet moments when you have all this craziness going on
Right.
in the episode.
Again, I like that. It's like life. You've got ups and downs. You've got action moments where you have to react quickly, and you've got moments where you can stop and have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. I think we can't jump ahead, although someplace in here, apparently they've had a chance to clear the fields for planting, because they're going to start planting tomorrow. And because Erica is telling this to Sylvana, and Sylvana's taking time to look through Richter's journal. And, he had a crush on me and blah, 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 blah. And
She didn't know that?
I
As a
don't know.
listener, we could pick that up in like episode 1.
But, she's getting all warm and fuzzy about Richter. And then Richter comes back, and Richter ain't Richter no more. Richter is now, Richter has issues, and they can't seem to do anything about these issues.
And there's a toxin in his body.
Right. And, everything is all elevated. So they sedate him, and Sylvana gets a chance to come in to talk to him after first being told, you got to be out. You got to let him rest. But then they said, okay. So Mado encourages Ursula to, let's go get something to eat. The baby needs to eat, to get, like, essentially, let's give these two a few moments together alone. Worst decision of the episode. Because, and the second worst decision of the episode is the wording that Sylvana uses when she's talking to Richter, which is, I need you to wake up. And so he wakes up.
If only I could do that with my wife in the morning.
See, this whole susceptible suggestion, say, I need you to wake up. So I wake up.
Command you to, come down out of that tree or something. It's they haven't quite connected the dots yet on what these eels are doing.
But we're getting there. So after he's commanded to wake up, then he hears another voice in his head, which is the voice he'd been hearing and hearing and hearing over the past couple of days. Fight. You need to fight. You need to survive. You need to live. Fight. You must. And bye-bye, Sylvana.
Yeah. That one kind of took me by surprise.
Right. She wasn't just injured, and somebody came bursting in. Nope. That was done. And so then Ursula and Khan have a discussion about the whole thing. And she says, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to treat it. Well, can you give me assurances it won't happen again? No, I can't do that either. The only way I'm going to find this out is if I do an autopsy.
Yeah.
So she volunteers to do what needs to be done. And Khan says, no, I don't want this. This is my responsibility.
Yep.
And you have this heartbreaking scene where he goes in and, Richter is now awake. And I know, are you proud of me? And, I did what you wanted. And, you're apologizing to me, but you're Khan, and he's very confused. And he says, that's okay. Just rest. And that's the end of Richter.
Yeah. I heard a neck snap or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I'm going to inject you by surprise.
Yeah. No, that's not the way it went down. I think he was trying to make sure that was fast. So then at the end of this episode, kind of saying, I'll burn SETI Alpha 5 to the ground rather than bend to its will. That he's just getting more and more fed up with this planet that was supposed to be this paradise. And now it's turning out to be Australia, as we talked about. Everything's trying to kill him.
Yeah. So much for the title of episode 1, Paradise.
Yes. It's Paradise Lost right away. And they've already made reference to Milton. How about that? All right. So quickly, because we got to get to a wrap up on this one. Death count. All right. We enter the episode with 2 deaths: Hugo, who was pushed off a cliff by Ivan, and Joachim, who was impaled by a wild boar. Sylvana,
Killed by
by
Crazy Richter.
Yeah, by a city eel infected Richter, and then Richter killed by Khan when the boy's infection could not be cured. So there we go. We're up to 4 already.
It's only episode 3.
So we had a number in the episode of 92. So 92 would theoretically be everybody, right?
But we didn't lose everybody.
Because 92, we don't see 92 people in that scene where they're all like coming out of the sleep chambers. So you'd assume that
Right.
there's more people in sleep chambers that just haven't come out yet, and the children. So 92 would be the number of people. So the number of people on the planet to start off with, because I don't believe anyone got killed, and I don't think anyone didn't make it out of the sleep chambers, is 93, because you have to add Marla to that number. So percentages are not looking, they're still okay, but they're
we got a pregnancy, so there's a positive 1 going to be added.
There's hope there.
There's hope. I said Alpha 5.
Yeah, well,
I want to make a t-shirt of something now.
Indeed. All right, so we have to have, now again, we can't do city eels. So what have we got here for our it's mostly a city eel centric episode here.
We have to think of what that thing was in the lake.
Oh, yeah, he just called it, I think he called it a sea serpent. The captioning is awful on YouTube.
We could do like communicator coils.
Okay, all right, sure, why not? All right,
I'll plan better next time. What have we found that we can use for ratings?
All right, so communicator coils. I'm going to give this one, I think I'm going to go a little, I'm going to give this one, I think I give this one a 9. 9 communicator coils, because we know what's going to happen. Well, we know why what's happening is happening. So
they don't, but we do.
Right. So now you've got 2 things going against you as a listener. You know ultimately what's going to happen, and you know why this particular thing is happening. So you still have to make it interesting. You still have to involve the listener in the story. And I think, the introducing this idea that Doe is pregnant, and having this the sketchbook that Sylvana is looking through, and seeing the picture of herself, and I think all these things helped move it along, but make it interesting in the process. And I think that, again, it's a really hard rock to push up that hill when you know where things are going. And this helps you kind of still be invested in the story in that. What about you, Chuck?
Before you said your number, I also had 9 in mind. I think they're doing a fantastic job of, like you said, keeping the listener engaged. Got a little dark in some spots, but they're keeping it moving along. My biggest challenge is absorbing all of these details and being able to retain them and regurgitate them for this show. So I will definitely be honing my note-taking skills over the next couple of episodes so that I can do a better job with that. But I really am enjoying this. I think it's really coming into its own. The characters, you either got to love them or got to hate them. And when we keep getting back to the discussion between Tuvok and, I got to write her name out, Lear. There's this dynamic of what is her agenda? She's, I'm just seeking the truth. Well, whose truth? And we're going off of one person's records, or I guess 2 if you count Khan and MacGyver's, which can be biased. So it's an interesting. I like the directions they have. It's just keeping track of all the chess pieces is my
Right.
biggest challenge right now. And
Right.
like you said, sometimes the voice acting is, you know, give someone a Scottish accent or something so I can keep something. Ivan's an easy target, right? You know who
Right.
Ivan is.
Right.
And we've got Khan identified simply because he's the main character. But
And
some of the other
Mado seems to have sort of I don't know, is it a Caribbean type
right.
type of accent? But yeah, most of the other people don't, and it can be hard. But the good news is, some of them are gone now, so you don't have to worry about that.
The rest will soon be gone. We say that so maniacally. So a couple of 9s on this one. I like it.
All righty. So now it's time to try to refill the dilithium chamber and warp on out of here. And let's see. I've got do I have a little thingy do here for that?
For
Hold
what?
on here. There we go.
Oh,
Yes.
a graphic. Yeah.
Yes. You can find me, Clinton, at Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4.com. I am close to wrapping up my dog days, which morphed from dog days of podcasting to dog days of pumpkin spice season. But so far, I think I'm up to 25. So you've already got 25 days worth of odd news stories if you want to go back and listen to all of those. And some of them are very, very odd, but also at the end of each one of those episodes, because the 20th anniversary of Comedy Forecast was in June, I'm including a clip from an episode from somewhere during the 20 years in there as well. So you're hearing stuff all the way back from 2005 forward. So it's fun for me to delve into those, and hopefully it's fun for people to listen to them as well. All right. Who speaks for you guys? I wonder.
Gee, I wonder. Go ahead, Craig.
Hey, you sound like one of those elevators. No, anyway.
Get out the crickets. Yeah, back to the show. I was just noticing the color scheme on your logo after 20 years kind of has a pumpkin spice color scheme to it.
Uh-oh. I expect beef to be showing up here anytime soon, needing my logo.
Beef steer. It's like, wow. That reminds me of the lady who named her chickens like teriyaki tikka masala. Like, behave or you end up on the dinner plate.
Oh, but you're royalty. You're a king. Oh, never mind.
Our podcast is called Technorama Podcast. Craig and I do a show. Oh, we try to do weekly, but sometimes people travel or family gets involved, but we manage. We can find that by searching for Technorama Podcast anywhere you find podcasts or the internet in general, or just go directly to chuckchat.com. We have a lot of fun covering nerd news, science, topics, a little bit of history in there. We just geek out for an hour or so. It's a lot of fun. Hope you can join us.
All righty. So it's time to hit the music, boys.
I got to get the soundboard on the right thing. There we go. Music, boys.
If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Blue Sky at The Topic is Trek, visit our Facebook page, or call us at 816-TREKKER. That's 816-873-5537. Until next time, on behalf of Chuck and myself and the absent Craig, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek,
don't put on the red shirt.
Chuck just isn't going to make it. He's wearing red.
No, this is a brown.
Oh, my monitor needs adjusting.
That's the end of the audio recording.
All righty. Well, thank you for watching us on the tubes.
Yes, thank you. We're going to end the live stream here. We just have a little bit of administrative work for when's the next time we're recording. Craig doesn't get to vote this time.
That's right.
So, everybody take care. Stay safe. See ya.